And the second incident I recall is when Ben must have been 8, 7, something like 7 I would imagine, and we'd gone for a long walk along Easy Beach. It was a hot day, we were by the sea, the sea was coming in, there was waves crashing, it was a hot day and we were getting thirsty and all the rest of those kind of things as you scramble along a beach, lovely pebbly beach. When we got to Easy Burn itself, which runs across the shore, beyond it was a hillside, and maybe 50 yards up the hillside, a cave in the cliff, and between us and the cave lots and lots of bracken, and I think we had some water from the stream. And then I was curious to see what the cave was like, and I thought Ben would be too. So I forced my way in among the bracken, and we climbed up the hill and got to the cave and investigated it. And of course Ben was much smaller than me, and while my head was just about above the bracken, he was just pushing through this jungle of green that was springing up behind me as I pushed my way through. And after we'd investigated the cave, as much as it could be investigated because it was quite small, we turned and I said, you know, probably time to go back down to the beach. And Ben looked kind of downcast and said, but how are we going to get down there? And I realised at that moment what it had been like for him to come up through the bracken. And I turned and I said, like this! And I threw myself down the hill and rolled down the hill across the bracken, right, making a big track through it, which sprang up again behind me, of course, to some extent. And by the time I got to the bottom, there was Ben behind me, throwing himself down the hill and rolling down among the bracken. And whether or not that epitomises fatherhood, I certainly felt there was a connection made at that moment. I enjoyed myself, and I enjoyed doing something that was slightly outrageous, and that Ben enjoyed doing it too.